So now that we can make a great sound on our head joint, we're ready to put the whole flute back together and practice holding the flute correctly. So we're going to take our left hand first, and with your middle knuckle on your left hand first finger, you're going to put that knuckle just next to this first key on the flute, right there, and it should rest pretty easily. Your first finger will go on this first key, second finger here on this third key, so we're skipping one, and then your third finger right there. Pinky will hover gently over this pinky key. On the back side of the flute, your thumb will go on the long thumb key here, so not on this little one, on this long key. And your wrist will kind of gently bend forward underneath the flute to make it easy and comfortable to reach all of those keys at once. So once you have a good left hand position, you can just rest the head joint on your shoulder while we do the right hand. So before we do our right hand position, we're just going to relax our right hand down next to our side. And you can see that when you just gently let your right hand hang, your fingers are nice and rounded, and your thumb is also perpendicular to your first finger and just about right underneath it. So that should be nice and comfortable. So we're just going to take that right hand exactly how it is, and we're going to set it on the flute with your first finger on the third key from the bottom of the body, second finger and third finger. And your pinky can go on this pinky key that is right here on the foot joint. Your thumb should go, just like when you're hanging your hand next to your side, underneath your first finger, and it's totally acceptable for it to be anywhere between your first or second finger underneath the flute. What is not okay with your thumb is if it goes over this way, which will cause your hand to be nice and tight and hard to move. And we don't want it to come too far forward, which will also make it really difficult to move your fingers quickly. So we want it to be nice and relaxed right underneath the flute. And if you have very long fingers, it might be helpful for you to move your thumb back behind the flute a little bit, like that, so that your fingers can curve gently over the keys. So it's very important to remember that no matter what note you're playing or how many fingers you're using to play that note, all of your fingers are going to be gently curved over these keys all the time, so they're ready to go at any moment. And that will let you move your fingers really quickly and have nice, easy motion between notes. So now that we've got our fingers in the right position, we're just going to hold the flute up, keeping everything just about exactly the same, and put the head joint right where we did when we were practicing with the head joint only. And now, with all your fingers up, but hovering gently over those keys, you should be able to make a nice open sound. And we want to hold the flute up mostly straight, almost parallel to the ground. And you might want to have the flute just a little bit forward of you to make it nice and comfortable. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight like this, because that could cause some tension in your shoulder. So you might want to just push it forward just a little bit with your right hand. And we're still sitting up nice and tall and straight, just like we were before. It's very easy with the flute to kind of curve your shoulders like this because the flute is in front of us and because our arms are forward. But we don't need to do that. We just want to stay up nice and tall. Great.